Hey, Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, cover the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, aka Man of the Peoples. Here to tell you today the final injury report before the Carolina Panthers travel down to New Orleans to take on the Saints. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into this injury report that we have for you for this week. I say that as I don't have the file ready, but actually I do. Here we go. Current injury report, a little bit of a long one. Let me change. So we have cornerback Troy Hill with an ankle. He was limited in practice today, but he is good to go. We got defensive tackle Deshaun Williams dealing with a knee. He did not practice. Deshaun Williams will be out versus the New Orleans Saints. We also have center Bradley Bozeman. He is dealing with an ankle injury. He was limited in practice today. He will be questionable for the game this Sunday. Safety Jeremy Chin dealing with that quadriceps as he returns. He was limited in practice. He is good to go for this Sunday versus the Saints. Linebacker Yetur Gross Matos dealing with that hamstring, limited in practice today. He is questionable for the game this Sunday. And then we have, man, you guys may laugh at me. I don't know who I just said, but anyway, I'm going to go with linebacker Marquise Haynes dealing with the back. He was a full participant in practice, but he is still questionable. So we have several guys that were full participants in practice today, but are listed as questionable for the game this Sunday. And I was like, why is that the case? Like, why are you a full participant, but then you're questionable? So I had to do a little research, and now I have some explanation that I have received that I want to pass along to you guys. So anytime a guy is a full participant in practice and he's listed as questionable, at least for the Carolina Panthers, what that means is they want to see how that guy responds to being a full participant. I know most of these guys that were full participants today but are still questionable, they were limited in practice yesterday. So they're graduating towards being healthy, at least healthy enough to play in the game this Sunday. And again, at least as it pertains to the Carolina Panthers, when you see a guy that's full participant but still questionable, it's just that they're wanting to see how the guy responds the day after, because they do have a walkthrough and things tomorrow before they then fly to New Orleans, typically Saturday afternoonish. So there's some explanation for you there. Hey, just a quick ask for you, favor. Hit that like button. Get in the habit of doing it every time you see one of these videos. Support independent media. It helps us to grow. It helps to do what you love to do, getting players and coaches and access to this team. So please continue to show some support and show some love to do that for me. Let me go ahead and finish with this list here. All right, so let's continue with this list. We have cornerback J.C. Horn dealing with that hamstring that, of course, had him out for so long. He was a limited person in practice today. He is listed as questionable, but he absolutely will be playing this Sunday. Tight end Hayden Hurst still dealing with that concussion, limited in practice today, and he is out. Hope that Hayden continues to take his time and return into this game. Talked about it yesterday. We'll just touch on it again today. He's saying that it's not season ending. He wants to come back. I'm sorry, it's not career ending. He wants to come back. Just hope the guy just, yeah, I know you love football, been a big part of your life, but just take your time. And I'm sure that, the limited in practice means he can't have contact. He had on the red jersey, so they're being safe about it. I just hope that he says, yeah, I want to take my time with coming back. But nevertheless, let's continue with this list here. Tight end Tommy Tremble dealing with the hip. Again, he's one of those guys that was a full participant in practice, but is questionable as they basically just wait to see how he responds to being out there full participant today. And then tight end Stephon Sullivan, shoulder, full participant in practice. He is listed as questionable for this matchup versus the New Orleans Saints. So that is your final injury report before the Carolina Panthers take on the New Orleans Saints. Now, something I will talk about, which I typically don't, that's the current injury report for the opposing team, the New Orleans Saints. Quarterback Derek Carr has had a concussion. He's been in the protocol, still is in the protocol, but his status improved today. He has been limited in practice all week. Today he was a full participant in practice and is listed as let me see what I forget exactly. I don't want to misspeak, so let me verify what I tweeted out here earlier today so I can tell you all properly. He's listed as questionable for the game tomorrow. He's listed as questionable for the game in New Orleans on Sunday. Chris Tabor, he spoke with the media today and still holding true to saying it doesn't matter if it's Derek Carr or Jameis Winston. Both of these guys he respects a lot, and both of these guys are good quarterbacks. But at this point, they have continued to prepare for the New Orleans Saints and how they are coached by Dennis Allen and for the weapons that they have. So they'll find out as we find out, Sunday morning about which quarterback that they will be facing. They are also preparing for some silent count because the New Orleans Superdome is a loud place, and hopefully, this team really hadn't been tested in that kind of environment since Seattle, but they will be tested in that environment in New Orleans. We'll see, and I'm eager to see how they respond with Chris Tabor and the new staff, and how I'm sure they reminded these guys, hey, it's loud. It can get pretty loud in there. Tabor surprisingly said he's only been in that stadium twice in his NFL career. This will be my second time, and I'll just give you some behind-the-scenes media feedback from a media perspective on where we sit and how that press box is. It is definitely not my favorite place to be. We are literally up in the rafters, and the noise travels up, and it's pretty much you can't hear the person talking next to you the entire game, because not just some of the game, but the entire game, because of just the acoustics for that press box in New Orleans. But nevertheless, I will be in New Orleans this Sunday watching the game, so look for that pregame show to be live from the New Orleans Superdome 2 hours before the game. So that's going to be 11 o'clock for that pregame show. And then approximately 30 to 45 minutes after the game ends, I'll be back on the field giving you the postgame show. So I hope you'll join me in watching that show pregame and postgame. That's all I have for you guys. Oh, one other thing. The lineup for the linemen is going to be the exact same that it was last week in Tampa. So that's going to be left tackle Ekwonu, left guard Justin McCray, center Bradley Bozeman, right guard Nash Jensen, and then right tackle Taylor Moton. So the offensive lineup will stay the same for this week. That's all I have for you today. Again, please hit that like button. It's a small favor that means so much to me. Thank you very much for it. I'm Chris Jenkins reporting for Charlotte Vibe.